Hi everyone. I have Lauren Grimes with me. She is my very close friend, and I met her at Isobar. She used to work with me at Isobar, and we worked in a couple of projects together.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, so we worked in Isobar together, and after that, she went to CliniCloud,
Yep.
and she's working on a very cool application product, basically,
Yeah.
on healthcare. So
Yep.
let's hear what she has to share with us. And today's video is all about, we are going to share our Android experience, how technology is changing in Android, as well as some of the project backgrounds we have had so far. So Lauren, tell us what you are working on at CliniCloud.
So at CliniCloud, we develop really one main product, which is a physical product. So we have a medical kit.
Mm-hmm.
So it contains a stethoscope, which you connect to the audio jack of your phone or the lightning port if you're an iPhone, as well as a Bluetooth thermometer.
Okay.
So we have our app, which helps people and families at home to monitor their healthcare from the comfort of their own home. So yeah, it's really cool. The product is, you use a whole different thing. So like Bluetooth and audio connections. So yeah, it's really interesting and
nice.
challenging.
So Lauren, you have been working on this project since last 6 months now?
Yep.
Yeah, and what are the technologies you are using? Because I believe it will be really hard to interact with the hardware and get the right measurements, because this is such a sensitive product, and
Completely.
on top of it, you're working on iOS and Android both.
Yeah.
So share us your experience.
Different challenges, both of them.
Yeah.
So pretty much like our product has, the whole life cycle is done in-house. So we do all of the hardware manufacturing and designing, as well as all the implementation on our side. So pretty much like, for example, with the thermometer, integrating that has many different steps and kind of different challenges that go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So firstly, with the thermometer, it is just a Bluetooth connection. So there are challenges that come with that itself. Yeah. So when you connect to the device, if you've got multiple thermometers, it's counting to that as to which one you're connecting to. So that's a challenge in itself, and something we do have to monitor and handle accordingly and do a whole lot of testing.
Oh my god, yeah.
So with that, because everything is done in-house, we do have a lot more control over what we can do and the type of data that we can get back.
Mm-hmm.
So really how it works is when you start up the app, you connect to the thermometer. From then, when it's got that connection, you can start taking your recordings. And as I found out, because I've never had to take a temperature recording with the thermometer before for a medical purpose, there's sort of different types of recordings it takes.
Oh, okay.
So what it does is you sort of have it and you swipe it over your head. And the first reading it takes is the temperature of the surface around you.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's got that number back, it takes your ambient temperature. So the temperature that's kind of like right on your forehead. So it measures the outside room temperature as well as the one that's closest to it.
Which is like your body temperature.
Yeah, your body
in the
heat
air
that you're giving off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then from those, it does sort of different calculations and then spits out just one number, which will be your temperature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so from then, we show that to the user and they can see a graph showing, if it's a really low body temperature, if they might have a possible fever and they should go see a doctor. So as well as getting all that data back from the thermometer, we are able to interpret it and actually give them some meaning to these numbers, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So then we do have another challenge with the stethoscope, which in itself is...
I can imagine.
My gosh. So relying on something, especially like a port on, for example, the iPhone, which then Apple decides to cut.
Apple as always.
Exactly. It's getting rid of that. But yeah, so the stethoscope was one of the first challenges and the first project that I worked on when I got to CliniCloud.
Yeah.
So we were doing a complete app rewrite. So with the stethoscope, we kind of split our code out into all the stuff that interacts with the hardware and then the side that the app reads and interacts with that as the bridge kind of thing.
Yeah.
So with the stethoscope, our hardware engineers decided that it would be a good idea to kind of lock it for use for so just us, so that no one else can kind of just plug it into their app and use it, because we want our customers to use it.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole process that goes along with it. So when you have the app open and you plug it in, it has to detect that it's got it plugged in. So that's the first challenge. And then from there, the app actually sends signals across saying, no, I've got this plugged in. I'm going to send some codes to see if you are ready to unlock and to be able to be used. And if the stethoscope responds with the correct code, then it starts the pairing process. So from that, the stethoscope will send a sort of acknowledgement packet saying, yes, cool, I've acknowledged that we will now connect. Here's my serial number. And then also sends a battery number back. So we do get these kind of manufacturing sort of details, so we know that.
So I was just thinking, it would be hard when you are in an emergency situation and you have to pair all these things and go through all this pain. I mean,
so for the customer it is sort of really seamless, and it does only take a good 5 seconds, so it's pretty
easy.
Nice and smooth. If it should be, but sometimes you do have hiccups with any tech that you're trying to connect. So it is good that we do get those serial numbers back, so we can say, is it the app, is it the hardware itself, is it something happening in between the app and the user that's not quite right.
Do you have actual users yet?
Yeah, so we currently have I think 1,200 active users.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, so quite a few. So on Android we have 300 users per month, and then iOS I think is a bit more with 500.
Cool.
Just mainly because the countries we're targeting
is
you.
iOS.
Yeah.
Before this project, what other projects did you work on?
So with many of the products I've worked on before, they've usually been for a client. So a lot of the time it's, hey, we've got this website, make it into an app.
Yeah.
So unfortunately all the stuff, hasn't been that interesting or technically
I know
challenging.
you have been working on one airline project, which was quite interesting. So tell us about that.
So that was challenging in a different sense rather than technical. That was more mentally challenging than anything. Just trying to deal with deadlines and changing priorities mainly.
Yeah. And it affects so much as a developer, right? Because mental stress, to finish it off quickly, we end up sometimes doing bad code, or sometimes end up having some major functionality miss, which
or you
don't genuinely want to do. And that makes us feel as a developer terrible as well, that oh my god, how can I miss this thing, or how can I write such a terrible code? But you don't have option about it, right?
Or you also go, okay, this works for the moment, I'll come back to it and I'll refactor this later, and
never happens. What are the technologies nowadays that are coming up which excites you the most?
That's a really good
that
question.
You want to work on it. Basically,
Obviously there's so many of them, and
I know.
I guess you would see the same where, a couple of years ago mobile development was this, one
very
specific
narrow,
thing. And now it's branching off into so many different things. One thing that I'm really excited about is the integration with Android things, and more like the Internet of Things and at-home technology, which is really cool. So in terms of that, one thing I would absolutely love to learn more about is machine learning. And with that, TensorFlow would be amazing. But it's always on that to-do list and getting the time. But you see some really incredible things that people are doing with it, and just stuff you never think of. And
that's true.
Life-changing things, which is really amazing. So,
and even the day you presented about your project you are working on, there was another guy who was talking about the progress we have made in medical with amazing technology, and I was amazed with it, the things we can do now. He told us that we can modify the DNA of the baby before even the egg is formed, or the baby, what do you call it? Baby egg after they merge together.
Oh gosh.
there is some fetus.
Yes.
Fetus.
Yeah.
Before the fetus is born, you edit the DNA and make it the way you want it to look like or be like.
Or
it's so scary, but it's so cool as well at the same time. And then you remember he told that you can edit the DNA in a way that if that person may get disability, he will never get that disability. Imagine having babies which are born and we don't have to worry that my baby is gonna have I hope my baby is not gonna have any disability, because that's now out of the box.
And it's such a stress that everyone has to,
every time I talk with my girlfriends, they're like, I only wish my daughter or son doesn't have any
it's
disability.
Always nagging in the back of your mind.
And considering nowadays kids have so many issues, allergies and everything. Yeah, it's really scary.
A big step, that one. It's really interesting. It's another one of those ones which it can be quite scary in the same sense of, people use things for good and for not good purposes, but that one I hope will be a
like for example,
changer.
I was thinking about VR as that as well. VR can be good and bad, but if you see the goods of it, it is so good. We get in meditation wise or physical disability people can actually mentally get stimulated such a way that they walk and all. It's interesting to see this technological changes bringing so much improvements in our day-to-day lives as well. And I'm liking that idea. It's just this editing DNA scares me a bit, but
So I think it's also from all the movies as well.
What are the technologies in Android and iOS which excites you? Because you told about the in general technology. Now tell us about more specific about mobile deving.
Well, like I said before, specifically with Android things and that connection with the home, I'm really looking forward to that. As well as the integration that they're hopefully going to open up with like Google Now for the developers. I'm really excited to look into that. One of the downsides on working with a specific product at the company is, you don't really get a chance to explore a lot of that stuff because it might not align with what we're doing. So,
that's true.
But I remember, it's going back a couple of years ago, you were working on a really interesting project as well, which had a lot of, challenges in itself. Like, what are you excited about that's coming up?
I am excited about a lot of technologies. One of it is React Native. I have been fascinated by the amount of flexibility React Native has, and we worked on few chatbot applications and other things, right now we are working on one of the chat applications in which we are using React to develop them, and it's so much easier and so much faster. Along with that, I have been working on Phoenix servers with Elixir and React, normal React, and making one website related to just a simple website where you upload files and share files. Basically, it's a very mini version of Dropbox for one of the clients, and that's so exciting as well. Like, Tom Wilson. He's
a genius boy.
I know. He sat with me and he was explaining me this because we have a very short deadline for the project, so we were working on it, and he pulled up admin page with user registration, with database plus server in 20 minutes using these technologies. Can you believe it? 20 minutes. It's like amazing. I was so mind blown.
That's unheard of.
It's so easy to understand as well. So I'm quite fascinated about these new technologies.
I've never worked with Elixir or Phoenix, did you say? No, I've never worked with them.
It's pretty cool. Give it a go. And something on personal I want to do is, one of the colleague at Isobar, Nico, he gave me Arduino kit, and that's like a from scratch Arduino kit with breadboard. Breadboard, right? Breadboard. So I'm going to work on that and going to basically open the garage door with mobile.
Amazing. Yes.
So I'm going to work on that project. I'm super excited about.
That's
I just need to find time to do it. It's so funny. So it's so cool. Yeah.
It was so good.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to do all this funny, funky things.
It's all the fun stuff.
I know, fun stuff.
Yeah, the filling things that you
Yeah.
don't usually get to
And then
do at
I'll
work.
open source that code, so I give it back to community, sort of.
Yes, best way to do it.
Yeah, so that's the plan. Tell us about your experience in being a girl studying in one of the male-dominant industry or engineering, and because this channel is all about promoting more girls to get into technology, I want to listen to your story as well.
Yeah. Well, so I kind of, my journey with tech kind of started probably end of high school. Like all throughout high school, I was never really interested because my school didn't offer any sort of computing subjects at all. We had, we had keyboarding, which taught us how to type.
Oh, is it typewriter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
that
also
was
had that.
that was the extent of our computer science education.
Did you type that QWERTY?
Yeah, I can touch type really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't really get any exposure to it at all. And then when it came to the time to decide what I wanted to do with my life and what course I wanted to do at uni, my mum was the person who actually said, you know, have you thought about doing an IT sort of course? Because if you do IT, mum, she said, if you do that, you will never be out of a job. I thought, you know, like that's fair advice. So I went and applied for the IT course because I thought, you know, worst case, if I don't like it, at least I'm doing something while I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to RMIT University, so it's in the city, and so I did the Bachelor of IT, and I think it ended up doing about 3.5 years because I was sort of working as well.
Yeah.
And it started off being about, I think there was 4 other girls who were kind of, I was close with in the same course.
Nice.
But by the time I graduated, I was the only one.
Oh, what happened to other two?
They all dropped out.
What do you mean by dropped out? They didn't study further at all, or went
No.
to some other?
They left that uni and went and did, I think, like media and communications or nursing, just did something different. Yeah, sort of, I guess, the fact that I actually finished it was good. And it wasn't until my very last subject, which I actually found something that I was good at and I really enjoyed, because the whole time going through that course, I thought, you know, I'm pretty average at everything I'm doing. I don't really like this programming I'm doing, because it was Java enterprise stuff and like socket programming. And so I graduated with a Bachelor of IT in Systems Administration. So I can set up servers and do all that sort of stuff, but I wasn't really into it.
Okay.
And then the last course I did was iOS programming.
Oh.
So it was kind of,
cool.
yeah, it was really awesome. It was the one thing that sort of had the full range. So it's got that design element with the, you know, doing all the front end, as well as, you know, you've got to handle all the back end data and that. So I finally got
Something
the whole
which
overview of everything. And
Yeah.
I went, oh, like, cool. So this is what that subject was trying to get at in this one, and the iOS can put it all together. So here I am as a mobile developer now.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I just kind of stuck with
good.
it, and I finally
I'm
found
glad
something
you
I like.
stuck with it.
Yes,
Otherwise,
me
we
too.
wouldn't have
I
met
know.
ever.
No,
Yeah.
that would be so bad.
Can you tell any message if you have for the young viewers we have on our channel?
Well, I'd probably give you the same advice that my mum gave you, or gave me at least. If you're not sure what to do and you are sort of debating with, you know, something in terms of tech, whether it be like something in more of the data side of things, or programming itself, or even designing stuff, just have a go. And even if, like, you know, going full into a course is too much, like, play around, see if you've got some friends who can
Help you.
yeah, that are already in there. So, like, just have a go.
Yeah.
But it's very daunting at first, and does take
Amazing
a bit of time.
once you have got it.
Completely.
Yeah.
And
Because the feeling that you get when you have made a product which is loved by everyone is such amazing feeling.
definitely.
And especially you are in the field which is helping people in the medical situations, which is such a rewarding
Completely. You get to
thing.
see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's great. But
yeah.
yeah, definitely, like, if you have tried one thing and haven't liked it that much. Like, don't disregard the whole tech
Yeah.
field, just try something else.
Yeah, like for example, I hated database side of work, like SQL query
Yeah.
and everything. I hated server side of work until I came across in my third year, I believe, across Java, and I absolutely love Java, and that made me stick to programming.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
That sort of light bulb moment where you go, I can do this. I like this. I
which
get
is
it.
yours as well. Like you got into final year iOS developments one, and then you got into mobile devings.
And it can take a bit of time, but
It's fun.
consistent.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.